What's up, everybody? So my name's Dr. Jeremiah Jimerson, and I get this question all the time from patients, especially as they're trying to refer other people to me, or some of the people that that are making their way towards me. They're like, how do we even describe what it is that that you do? Because not a lot of people know that I actually am a chiropractor, because I kind of advertise myself as the anti-chiropractic chiropractor. So why do I do this? It's not that I don't adjust or manipulate or, look at the body that way, but it's just a very, very small portion of what I do. So, traditionally chiropractors, that's what they do. They look at a bone kind of out of place, they x-ray you, hey, everything's out of place, and then they manipulate it kind of back into place. And so early on, back in 2004, when I was still in school, I started specializing in a patented soft tissue technique called active release technique. And basically what active release technique did was it would go through and it would break up scar tissue and muscles. So long story short, it would make muscles stretchy or elastic again. And it's a pretty big technique. When I was working for another doctor in New York, the Buffalo Bills had gotten wind that I was the only guy in the area. And so instead of driving to Rochester for a treatment, even though I had no idea back in 2004 what the heck I was doing, these guys started showing up on my doorstep for the treatments. So pretty early on, I got really, really good with manipulation, because I would at that clinic that I used to work at in New York, I would see a lot of patients, something like 120 patients, a day, and so that's what they were focused on, was the bone out of place, popping it back into place. And so pretty early on, I was looking at things more from that soft tissue perspective. For me, it was like, well, why is that bone out of place to begin with? It always came down to that soft tissue, for me. So I moved to the Low Country in 2007, and I opened up my first office in Somerville. And by 2008, I had gotten such a great reputation. The Post and Courier did a 2-page story on me, and that was it. My practice exploded. And so we had people from James Island, Mount Pleasant, Kiowa, everywhere, driving all the way up to Somerville for these soft tissue treatments. And this whole time I was dealing with a lot of my own painful issues as well. And it took me a couple of years to start kind of looking at things even differently from that active release, that soft tissue technique. But if we had an athlete that came in and they blew out, like, let's say like a hamstring, sometimes initially in the beginning I would beat it up, and sometimes it would feel good and sometimes it wouldn't. And that continued kind of pushing me a little bit further. Well, why did that one person get better and not that other person? So I started looking at things, even deeper in terms of, biomechanics. How did that actually, happen? And, so dealing with my own back issues and my own shoulder issues, what I ended up finding out was a lot of it came down to weaknesses in people's core muscles. Your core is your engine, and basically your body's biggest job is to have this 360-degree support around the spinal cord. And so if one or a couple guys isn't doing their job, then somebody else is going to jump in. Could be your shoulder, could be your neck, could be your back muscles, your legs, what have you. But a lot of times those guys, as they're overworked and underpaid, that's when they start kind of blowing out. So it just gave me another method to kind of start kind of dialing back, how did that person actually get there? And, a lot of people get weirded out when I start talking about core muscles, because we'll get, power lifters coming in, these dudes, will squat 700, 800 pounds, and I'll use a pinky and, push one of their legs all the way down as they're trying to brace their core. And if I don't let them cheat, if I don't let them use their neck or their shoulder or somebody else, a lot of times they're very surprised to find that. So, and that still doesn't describe exactly what I do, because I do a good 40, 50 different, techniques. And so the way I look at it is I just have a very big tool bag that allows me to get people better. So an adjustment would be just like a screwdriver, and you can't build an entire house just using a screwdriver. So like I said, I have a very big tool bag. So I might teach people how to, and this is gonna sound bizarre, but I might teach people how to rub on some of their jaw muscles. And if you reach down, if you stand up, reach down and touch your hamstrings, and you spend a little bit of time kind of working on your jaw muscles and go to reach down and stretch again, you're going to notice you're going to be a bit looser. And so that's what I do. I might do sometimes certain neck stretches that might increase the length of your hamstrings by 30, 40 degrees. But that's what I do. I look at things from a completely different perspective. We want to look at things more from that why type of perspective. And we have a very, very high success rate. If you take a look at our YouTube channel, if you take a look at our Google reviews, a lot of our patients have been everywhere in terms of trying chiropractic, physical therapy, acupuncture. We get I'd say at least half of our referrals, and we get a good 1,000 word of mouth referrals per year. Half of our referrals come from the orthopedic surgeons themselves, because we've just built up this good reputation where we can help people when nobody else can. We've had people where they're bone on bone, knee pain, or bone on bone, hip joint pain, and we create this stability across their system. We get their core muscles engaging. We stop, their spine from rotating as much, and everything resolves. On our YouTube channel, we've got one of our lieutenant governors had tore his rotator cuff muscle in half. Like, that puppy isn't coming back, and he decided not to have surgery because I was able to get him out of pain and get him completely functional again. So I don't really care what people actually come in with, because we are going to improve it. We are going to, if I can't make you 100%, I can make you pretty damn close to it, because, again, we're looking at more like functionality, and it's more of a type of treatment where I don't really want to see you 3 times a week for the rest of your life. That's not me. I am not that guy. My goal is we typically want to go in, we want to see where your worst, biggest imbalances are. And, like your top 2 or 3 imbalances, granted we can find 100, different imbalances on somebody, but what are your top 2 or 3 imbalances? And if I have you work on those, it's typically going to take you 80% of the way there. And that's kind of how I roll. That's how I look at things. I don't really care what you've got, kind of coming in. We're going to make it better, and we're going to change your lives. And so my reputation should kind of sell itself like that. So I hope that helps you guys. And if you've got any questions, feel free to email me, Facebook me, all of that stuff. I love talking about this. We're constantly online teaching people, how to get moving better, how to change their lives, how to lose weight, all that good stuff. So reach out to me. I love to hear from you, and hopefully we'll see you soon.